The first section of Japan and the Cherry Blossoms starts with the Singapore Airlines flight into Tokyo, where we have 3 nights. We then travel by bullet train to Takayama in the Japanese Alps for a 2-night stay. After, we board our bus for the beautiful town of Kanazawa, where we stay overnight. Our flight into Tokyo's Haneda Airport is in the afternoon, and there are often great views of Mount Fuji on the final approach. Haneda Airport is ideally situated. It's only a 20-minute bus drive from our hotel in the Odaiba district. And our hotel has unparalleled views across the Sumida River to the glittering Tokyo skyline. On our first evening at the hotel, we enjoyed great views from the 30th floor and, of course, teppanyaki.
I believe I can
fly. Our first day in Tokyo begins with a visit to the city's great institution, Tsukuji Fish Market. The oldest and largest fish market in the world, Tsukiji sells the freshest oysters, tuna kebabs in the country. Seafood like tuna, salmon and crab meat is lightly seared with a blowtorch to create a savoury roasted flavour. Though the auction section of the market has moved across the river, Tsukiji still retains a marvellous atmosphere. In the afternoon, we visit Takashita Street, centre of Japan's wackiest youth culture and goth trend, a pedestrian jungle full of fun, food and fashion. In many ways, Takashita showcases Japan's alter ego and is probably the busiest street in Tokyo. Leaving Takashita, we walk to the Shibuya crossing, simply the busiest in the world. Nearby is a metropolitan building, and from the 45th floor we see stunning views across one of the world's great cities. On our last morning in Tokyo, we visit the grounds of the Imperial Palace. The royal family still live here, but more importantly, the 1.5 square kilometre grounds contain 1,000 cherry blossom trees. The palace itself was destroyed during the Second World War, but it was rebuilt afterwards in the same style. 12 moats surround the palace, and people love to take a walk or a boat ride on the canals. In the afternoon, we visit Old Tokyo and a district known as Asakusa. There are no high-rise buildings here, and 7th century Buddhist temples and shrines sit alongside centuries-old snack and souvenir stores that have been providing for visitors for hundreds of years. Asakusa is on the other side of the Sumida River from our hotel in Odaiba, and we take a 50-minute scenic boat ride that darts under many bridges to our hotel. It's 9 in the morning at Tokyo train station. Moving 500,000 people a day with 4,000 trains, it is the busiest in Japan. Our luggage has already gone by car to Takayama, making today a 4-hour stress-free journey. Japan's bullet trains, or Shinkansens, have been operating for 50 years without any fatalities. They are the envy of the world. Our journey into the Japanese Alps will take 4 hours. The train is pressurized and will reach speeds of 300 kilometers an hour. The Shinkansen is spotlessly clean. There is Wi-Fi and a snack cart that provides tea and coffee. By early afternoon, we see our first view of the Hida mountain range, and soon after, we pull into Takayama station for our 2-night stay. The next morning, we explore Takayama on foot. This small town has a lovely traditional feel which few places in Japan can boast. The traditional alpine houses here are made of cypress and cedar wood from the nearby Hida mountains. It's no surprise that Takayama carpenters have been famed throughout the country since the feudal days of the shoguns. Low-key and rustic, Takayama is often called Little Kyoto. It's a winning combination of mountains, traditional culture and antiquity. In the afternoon, we visit the nearby village of Shirakawa-go. Nestled in the shadow of Mount Hakusan, this hamlet is the very definition of Japanese alpine beauty. Most of the houses here are tall and narrow with thatched roofs. And this is the reason why. Shirakawa is magnificent in all seasons. Each house is a masterpiece of carpentry. They are constructed without nails. Every beam simply slots precisely into the next. The structures are so strong that some of them are over 250 years and have withstood many seismic tests. This morning we take our bus for the 2-hour drive to Kanazawa, a small city on the Sai River and the Sea of Japan. When we arrive, we take a stroll around the Higashi Chaya, the wonderfully preserved historic heart of Kanazawa. This area, full of tea houses, was established in 1820 as an entertainment district for rich merchants and noblemen. Kanazawa is famous for gold leaf ice cream, a craft that dates back 400 years. Forget the magnums. This is the only place in the world where ice cream comes with a gold leaf.
Wow.
Kenrokunen, one of the 3 great gardens of Japan, and a great place to have lunch. Gorgeous at any time of year, it just happens to be one of the best places in the country to see the cherry blossoms. The trees are known as sakura in Japanese and only produce blooms. These gardens date back to 1676. 25 acres of streams, ponds, waterfalls, stone lanterns and historical tea houses. The next part of the tour begins with a 4-hour coach ride to Kyoto. We have 3 nights in the former capital before we continue further south via Himeji to Hiroshima, where we also spend 3 nights. We stop for lunch 50 kilometers before Kyoto in a place called Nara. This area has 1,000 free-roaming deers, and they are considered messengers of gods by traditional Shinto religion. Nara is also home to magnificent shrines and temples. After our visit here, we take the final short drive to Kyoto. During our 3 nights in Kyoto, we stay at the Kyoto Royal Hotel. It's central and a small walk to the Shirakawa Canal, the Philosopher's Path, and the old Gion district. This morning we head to the south of Kyoto and Mount Inari. Thousands of torii gates lead us to the Fushimi Inari Shrine. All torii gates were donated by Japanese individuals or companies, and on the back of each gate there is the name of the donator and when the donation was made. The shrine itself was dedicated to Inari, Shinto god of rice. Foxes are thought to be Inari's messengers, resulting in many fox statues across the area. The shrine is ancient and dates back to the 15th century. Philosopher's Path, a 2-kilometer stone artery that runs along the canal near to our hotel. It's a beautiful walk any time of year, but especially during Hanami. Kyoto has more sakura per square kilometer than any other place in Japan. Having a centrally located hotel and a stay of 3 nights allows us to cover this living museum with ease. We leave Kyoto for Hiroshima, but on the way we make a stop at Himeji Castle. Himeji is known as White Heron Castle and is probably the most spectacular and well preserved in the country. It has never been damaged by fire, war or earthquakes. The whole complex, as it survives today, is over 400 years old and is actually made up of 8 buildings connected by a series of gates and paths. At the very centre, the castle stands 6 stories, the upper levels being made of wood. The journey to Hiroshima will take us 3 hours, and we will arrive in the late afternoon. Atomic Bomb Dome center of Hiroshima and 300 meters from our hotel. Icon image for Japan and the world. Hiroshima, 0815, 6th of August 1945.
A short time ago, an American airplane dropped one bomb on Hiroshima and destroyed its usefulness to the enemy. That bomb has more power than 20,000 tons of TNT.
The first atomic bomb in human history exploded 600 meters above the A-bomb dome. Miraculously, the vortex allowed some of the building to survive. The whole area was the busiest district in the city. It is now a hauntingly beautiful park and a memorial to 80,000 people that died instantaneously. This is a cenotaph. It signifies a shelter for the souls of the victims. The park, which is 1.2 square kilometers, has a wonderful museum dedicated to the day of the bomb. Its exhibits include melted metal and clocks and watches which stopped at 0815. There is also a superb interactive display detailing the devastation. Today, we take a short ferry ride from Hiroshima to one of the country's most celebrated places, Miyajima Island, the amazing spiritual gateway of Japan. Mountainous and clad in pine forest, Miyajima is a wonderful contrast from yesterday's fascinating and thought-provoking day in Hiroshima. One of the country's most recognizable symbols is the red torii gate. When the tide is high, the gate looks like it's floating, which creates a mystical vista. By late afternoon, we return to Hiroshima. For the final leg of the journey, we board our Shinkansen for a 4-hour journey to Mount Fuji, where we will have one night. The next day, we take a 90-minute coach ride to Haneda Airport to return to Australia. It's early morning at Hiroshima Station. Our luggage has once again gone by car. Today, we are boarding the Nozomi Shinkansen, or N700, the fastest train in Japan. By the time we see Mount Fuji, we will have completed 730 kilometers in just over 4 hours. The area around Mount Fuji is simply breathtaking, with caldera lakes and stunning mountain scenery. We explore it by cable car and also a trip out onto Lake Ashinogo. Before spring approaches, the nation of Japan turns a shade of pink. Retailers prepare in advance like a Western Christmas. And the excitement grows as petal-by-petal analysis begins as the blossoms sweep from south to north of the archipelago. For Japanese, the season is deeply symbolic as the sakura ushers in a new beginning. The cherry blossoms are the embodiment of Japan's most deeply rooted cultural beliefs.